sheet of the year before you have to take your final exam. Let's run through and do a fantastic job on it. Please remember, if for any reason you're not getting any of these questions right, then there's going to be something on the test you don't know how to do. So reach out to a friend, reach out to me, watch this video intently, going back and over it 3-4 times until you finally get it down pat. But let's find a way to make sure you can get every question on that test right. So question 1A, convert 14.5 gallons to quarts. So if I'm going to go gallons to quarts, well, we know that a gallon is a lot bigger than a quart. So I'm going big to small, which means I'm going to multiply. And I have 14.5 gallons. Now, what's the factor that goes gallons to quarts? Well, quarts, quarters, it's 4. So 14.5 times 4 is 58 quarts. Next, convert 7 pounds 4 ounces to ounces. So I don't have to convert ounces to ounces. I just got to do the pounds part. So again, I'm going big to small. So there's 16 ounces in a pound, so that's my factor. So 7 times 16 is 112, and then don't forget those extra 4 ounces that we started with. So 112 plus 4 is 116 ounces. For number 2, John needs to cut weight for wrestling. At the first practice, he weighed 165. At his first match, he weighed 147. What was John's relative weight change? Well, he went down 18 pounds. He went from 147 to 165. Unfortunately, I lost track of my subtraction symbol right in here, probably about the time my tax accountant called to tell me the money that I had to, in one state, owe, in the federal government, owe, but in the money from the state that I live in, I get back. So it all kind of worked out to a wash. But I think he called right about now when I lost that negative sign. So it should be negative 11%, not positive 11%. Number 3, we're going to work with percents here. This is real basic fundamental percents. Just applying that percent proportion. Percent over 100 equals part over whole. The part is normally indicated by the word is. Of is normally indicating the whole. So what is? Those two are linked. The 18 and the percent are linked, and the of and the 150. So 18 goes in the percent place, 150 in the of place, and then the what, the thing I don't know, that's going in the is or the upper place. Cross multiply 18 times 150 is 2700. 100 times n is 100n. Dividing by 100, I get n is 27. Next case, 17%. So 17 goes in the upper left. Of what? So the n goes in the bottom where the of goes. And 47.5 is the is. So that goes in the upper right. Cross multiply. 17n is 4750. Dividing by 17, I get 279.41. And you might say, I don't know about this rounding off thing, but remember, your test is entirely multiple choice, so you'll have a pretty good idea of what it is that you need to do there. Letter C, n works out to be 55 because what percent? That's n in the percent place over 100 equals 22 over 40. Cross multiply, 40n is equal to 2200. Dividing by 40, and I get n is 55. Next up, convert 55 degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit. There's your formula. F is 9/5 C plus 32. You should have that on your phone handy for you when you take the test. Plugging in a 55, and I just take the calculator. 9/5 times 55 is 99, and plus 32 is 131. Next, we got a fish tank. It measures 6 feet by 5 feet by 3 feet. That's really important to feet stuff because it wants to know the volume to cubic yards. So 6 by 5 by 3, I multiply that and I get 90 feet cubed. But I have to convert to cubic yards now. And since it's cubed with the feet, 3 times I have to do 1 yard is 3 feet, 1 yard is 3 feet, 1 yard is 3 feet. This is the other way to convert units instead of big to small or small to big. And that means I'm going to divide by 3 times, which is a total of dividing by 27. And it comes out to 2.0 something, but it had said to the nearest tenth, so 2.0. Jim borrows 8% at 9%, borrows $8,000, I'm sorry, at 9% simple interest for 7 years. How much interest does he owe? Well, I equals PERT, PRT, principal times rate times time. So that would be 8,000 times 0.09, because the interest rate must be expressed as a decimal, times 7. Altogether, that's $5,040. That's the amount of interest he owes. But they could ask how much interest do you owe, or they could ask how much do you have to pay back. You also have to pay back the principal, the amount that you started borrowing. So it's $8,000 plus $5,040, which makes $13,040. Number 7, list 4 advantages and 2 disadvantages of buying a house. So some of the advantages include equity. It's a hedge against inflation. You can build good credit. You could also build bad if you do it wrong. It's a tax deduction. It's a I don't know what I wrote there. Well, one of the other advantages is it's a forced savings account. As far as disadvantages of owning versus renting, if you rent, it's a shorter commitment than owning. So, if you don't like where you are, you can get out quicker. And renting typically has a lower monthly payment than buying a house. Okay, next up, using the rule of 72. How long would it take to double your money if you were earning 6% compound interest? 72 just says, the rule of 72 says divide that by the interest rate, which is 6. So we get 12. Made a little problem with the formula here. It should be TN or NT in the exponent, not RN. I don't know why I typed an R, but it should be TN. Plugging it in, it's 12,000 times 1 plus 0.12 over 12 to the 12 times 30th, because you're going to leave it in there 30 years. These 12s will always match. And the time is what goes here. That's what the T is for. Put it in your calculator. You'll get $431,395.70. Number 10, solve each equation for the variable. In the first one here, A, we want to make sure we distribute the 4. That's 4n plus 4. So 4n plus 4n plus 4 minus the 1 is 27. Getting all my n's together, that's 8n. Getting all my numbers together, that's plus 3 is 27. Subtracting 3, 8n is 24. N is equal to 3. Distributing the 3 here, 3 times n is 3n. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Equals 5n minus 14. Subtracting 3 n's, negative 6 is 2n minus 14. Plus 14 to both sides, 8 is 2n. Dividing by 2, I get 4. And in the last case, I'm just going to do same side, same operation here. Altogether, I have 5a's and negative 8 when I do negative 2, positive 4, and negative 10. And adding 8 to both sides, 62 becomes 70. Dividing by 5, I get a is 14. Next up, we're going to take a look at some basic probabilities here. Find the probability of a yellow. That's 1 out of 8. There are 8 different sections of the spinner. And remember, probability is defined as the number of ways to do the thing you're looking to do, divided by total number of possibilities. There's 1 yellow region, 8 regions altogether. Red, there are 3 red regions. So the probability of red should be 3/8. It should be 3/8 there. And that's on number 11. Probability of red is 3/8. Okay. In green, I just didn't see one of them. Green is 1/8, and not green. Well, if 1 out of the 8 is green, then 7 out of the 8 are not green. And then blue and blue on 2 consecutive spins. It's important for you to remember that when you do one and then the other, doing 2 things, it's and. You're getting a blue and a blue. So that's 1/8 times 1/8. End is always multiply. So that's 1 over 64. Number 12, you select a marble at random from the bag below. You note its color, remove it from the bag, and then you pick another. This is important because now you're removing it. You're not putting it back in. What's the probability that you get a red, then a red? Well, the first one is 5 out of 11. Okay. And then the next one, you took that red out. It's not in there anymore. So now there's only 4 reds left out of only 10 marbles remaining. So 5/11 times 4/10 is 20 over 110. Next one says, again, you're not putting it back, red then green. So to get a red the first time is, again, 5 out of 11. But then there's only 10 marbles left, and 2 of them are green. So that's 2 out of 10. So that's 5 times 2 is 10, and 11 times 10 is 110. Okay, taking a look at this box plot here. The minimum, and I'm approximate. It's a little tough to tell exactly, but I got the minimum as being a little less than here. I think it's about 72. I got 83 or so for the first quartile. Remember, minimum is down here, first quartile, median here in the middle. I got that down as 88. Third quartile is right here, just short of 95, so I put it down at 94. And I put 98 as the maximum. If you were off by 1 or 2, then wouldn't be a big deal. Again, multiple choice, it'll be pretty obvious which is which on the choices. And then for interquartile range, that's the third quartile minus the first quartile. So 94 minus 83 is 11. Now we want to do the same thing with the stem and leaf plot. Okay, so With the stem and leaf plot, the minimum is 56. The maximum, that's the biggest one, that's 94. Now I got to find the median and the quartiles. Now, to find the median, it's the one in the middle. And in this particular problem, there's a total of 19 scores listed. So that's going to mean I'm going to have a group of 9 on the lower end, a group of 9 on the upper end. I know this because 19 divided by 2 is 9, but there's a remainder of 1. So that remaining 1 is this box in the middle. Since there's 9 scores below it, the 10th score is the median. So I run through, and here's my box right here. It's around this 1, which really stands for 81. So that is my median. Then I do the median of the lower half of 11, the one in the middle there. There's 9 scores, so 4 below, 4 above. The 5th score in a diamond here is quartile 1, 72. And in the top, again, 4 below, 4 above, diamond around the 8. That's 88. That's quartile 3. And the interquartile range is 88 minus 72, which is 16. Number 15, the table below shows the favorite sports of freshmen. Find the probability that the favorite sport is baseball. Well, the probability of any event occurring E is the number of ways to do E over the total number of possibilities. So there are 317 freshmen that picked it out of 1,350 total. All right, we'll pick up on number 19 on the next video.